Last time I started a video, I did some very obnoxious clapping, so I thought we'd keep it calm, have our hot water and settle in. To be honest, guys, that's actually really hard for me to stay that quiet. I'm not gonna lie, it's a struggle. But hello and welcome to another video. Now, I asked you guys on Instagram, I'm always looking for the best cookie recipe and the best cinnamon roll recipe and the best banana bread recipe, and I thought, who better to ask than my fave gang, I don't like to put a name on you because I just feel like you have suggested names such as Grackheads, but I just feel like we're just a nice little gang. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't need a name, we're just all together here as one in unity. I asked you on Instagram, if you want to follow me, GraceFood97, your favourite chocolate chip cookie recipes, just innocently thinking I'd get like 10 emails. 500 emails! 500 of you sent me chocolate chip cookie recipes, and that's a lot to make. We've got a vegan, we've got a non-vegan, we've got gluten-free, we've got all sorts in there. So I think it does give a fair test of the cookie recipes. Now I'm hoping and I'm feeling confident that you guys are going to provide the goods. Now this recipe is slightly different in that it uses freezer and self-raising flour, and I feel like a lot of cookies stick to the old plain flour, which means it hopefully won't go cakey. So I'm hoping this one won't go cakey, but what can you do? Do you know what I mean? Oh, that is probably something that I should actually explain. I really personally, my cookies, I like to be really soft and chewy in the middle, and I actually like quite a flat, thin cookie, but with a tiny bit of texture. Do you know what I mean? However, I have tried cookies in recent years that have been of the girthier variety, and they have been, quite frankly, sublime. So I am open to an alternative cookie. So here we have some applesauce that we are mixing with baking powder, and it is foaming up. Wow, I could watch that all day. Let's get started mixing together the butter and sugar. So excited. I genuinely feel like cookies are my favourite food, sweet food. Actually, I do think cookies reign superior. One recipe I'm particularly intrigued by that does use chickpeas. I thought it was just going to be the chickpea water, but it actually uses chickpeas. Not sure about it, but we're open. That's what we're being. We're not discriminating any cookie here. My nose is running. I don't think you've ever seen me blow my nose before. No, I need to wash my hands, so I'll be back. We beat it until it is nice and creamy for 5 minutes. Okay, I've been beaten for 5 minutes, and now we add our applesauce baking powder concoction. It kind of reminds me of talcum powder, and I have no idea why. And then we add in our flour. I always feel like I'm a mad magician when I'm using teaspoons and like putting little amounts of like bicarb of soda and corn flour in. Just take care not to overmix. Oh, 175, that is a nice amount. Although, contrary to popular belief, there is such thing as too many chocolate chips in a chocolate chip cookie. I'm just saying it, I'm putting it out there. And it says your nut of choice, and to be honest, it's not my nut of choice, but it's just what was in the cupboard. Walnuts. Key with cookies is not to overmix, because then you get a tough cookie, and no one wants a tough cookie. That is dough number 1. I'm confident about this one. So here are my little baby boys. They're going in the freezer now. Say goodnight. This one, our trusty friend, the blender, is coming into action. Now, I better not do us dirty like last time. We've all been there. We've been on the journey together. Uses 1 1/4 cup canned chickpeas, well rinsed and patted down. Specifics is the nut butter. It says don't even try and use a not natural nut butter. So I've gone for Pix. And you basically just whiz everything up in here. Dubious. We're gonna go in with all the ingredients apart from the chocolate chips. 1/2 cup and 2 tablespoons. Why doesn't it say just like 3/4? Chickpeas are so crazy. Remind me, oh my gosh, that's what chickpeas remind me of. They remind me of trolls. That's it. I've cracked it. After all these years, I've wondered. I've really wondered. And then just like that, we blitz it up. Blitz it all together. Actually, all that looks like the B-movie. Come on, sweetie. Don't let me down again. Weirdly looks actually like a cookie dough. Oh, there's a cheeky chickpea. Can you see him? Just chilling. And then we add 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. exactly like a cookie mix. It's onto a Silpat mat. These are like proper protein. These are healthy. If you're on a health kit, New Year and all that, don't give up now, it's February. I'm gonna push down half of them. I'm gonna leave the other half to see what happens. 10 minutes, going on the clock. Okay, here they are. Obviously these are the flattened down ones, and then these are the not flattened down ones. Been 2 whole hours, of these cookies in the freezer. So I'm gonna bake those now. So this is what they look like. It says to leave them in scoops and they are firm to the touch. Okay, this was 13 minutes. Okay, so I'm trying the first cookie that we made. Here it is in all its glory. Kind of looks like a peanut butter cookie. Well, because it's got peanut butter in, so let's try it. This tastes really good. I mean, it's a bit claggy and a bit stodge, but you wouldn't know.
They look alright.
Should I tell you what they are? Maple syrup, they're gluten-free and vegan. Chickpeas. You wouldn't know, would you? That's a protein-packed cookie. I haven't told him. Should I tell you what that is?
Not good.
Should I tell you?
Hold on, I've got something in it that's not normal. The taste of something. It tastes vegetable-y.
Close.
What is that taste? Is it a vegetable?
I don't know what
or a nut?
No, it's not a nut or
Bean.
a vegetable. Well, I'd call it a legume.
Which is a flipping bean.
No, beans and legumes are different.
No.
It's chickpeas blended up with peanut butter,
Don't like that.
maple syrup.
I don't think it was that bad.
I actually quite liked it. Okay, so this is what the other cookies look like. What do you think of the other ones, Dad?
They're reasonable.
Hi, first of all I just want to say people got really annoyed by the tag on my hair scarf. I have cut it off now, but in the video I hadn't, so I'm sorry about that. And number 2, whilst I'm here, might as well give a disclaimer. Sorry if I don't like your recipe or if I say anything about it. As I always say whenever I'm trying my subscribers' recipes, I can't like everything and I am really pedantic about cookies. Like, so pedantic. So I apologise. Thank you anyway for sending them in. Love you all loads. You can carry on with the video now.
Hi, would you believe it? We're back at the baking station, ready for recipe number 3. Now recipe number 3 is actually quite like a good, for me, I just have a feeling that this is going to be the one. You know when you look at the ratios and you're like, I'm feeling confident about you. This was also specific about what type of butter to use. It says use the vegan stork block or naturally vegan block, and I love that because actually little differences as ingredients can have such can play such a big part. This might have a high moisture content. There are so many elements that you have to play, so I am actually really grateful that they were specific on that. And then we do the classic, add the sugars and blitz it up. Okay, sugars in. Suggies. Suggies. That'd be really cute. Imagine if the word sugar was a completely different word. Let's go. Vanilla. Next stage, we just sieve in those dry ingredients. Very classic. So I'll be back once I've sieved them all in and combined it, because we get the gist of the cookies now. Okay, this recipe looks quite crumbly, but I think it's one of those ones that when you ball it together, you don't want to keep on beating it because then, as we said, you get a really tough cookie. But when you ball it, it comes together. It looks like it's not anything, and then bam! Okay, they are actually quite dry, but I've used the cookie scoop again to make the exact same shapes. This is just the leftover bit. Then it says to bake them for 10 to 12 minutes. And this is what they look like out of the oven. They actually look really, really good. Third recipe is in, and I have started on the 4th recipe here. This one is the same, butter, brown sugar, white sugar, vanilla. But where it is different is got egg and yeast. Now, in all my times of baking, I've never heard of yeast being in a cookie. That's a lie, I actually have, and I just remembered, and I'm really intrigued to see how it will react. I'm intrigued because obviously this one has an egg and the one prior doesn't have an egg, but for the most part, the ingredients are the same. Then, gradually add in the dry ingredients. Only 50 grams of chocolate chips. Okay, I have a feeling that this recipe is going to produce quite a cakey cookie. I've never met anyone that actually likes a cakey cookie. People talk about people liking cakey cookies, and I've never seen that in real life. This is what the 4th recipe looks like pre-oven, and this is what number 4 looks like out of the oven. They're a bit more domey. Do you see that? The last cookie that we have already started making is one that is basically like a classic cookie recipe. However, it does have the inclusion of hazelnuts. This one has a higher ratio of caster sugar to brown sugar. Normally means you get more of like a sugary caramel on the outside, you know, and it's a bit more crunchy. Again, this one uses bicarb of soda, not baking powder, which means it won't have as cakey, it will be more flat and chewy. Potentially could be a cakey dough. Okay, so it's the last one that we have prepared. This one then bake for 7 minutes. Clean up, there's so much cleaning up. I've been cleaning up as I go, but then just more mess appears. And this is what number 5 looks like pre-oven. And this is what number 5 looks like out of the oven. Okay, this is what I love. The second recipe, no, the 5th recipe, they've gone all crinkly, and I love that. This is, for me, this is looking really promising. Ah, so much better. Okay everyone, I have all of the cookies lined up. Number 1 to number 5. Obviously yesterday I tried number 1 and number 2, and I actually really liked, I kind of like both of them. I feel like personally for me, I could have baked these, I think at a different temperature, maybe a bit lower and slower. I didn't mind it. It kind of tastes a bit like cookie dough. Obviously it's very healthy, whereas my dad absolutely hated it. Number 3 was the vegan one, which I felt very confident about. And we're gonna give it a try. Here is what it looks like. And we're gonna break it in half. Oh. Okay, this one, proper crisp on the outside, but really nice and chewy on the middle. That's quite a nice contrast in texture. I feel like there's a good amount of chocolate chips in there. You get a little bite of chocolate in every single bite. Enjoy that one. Okay, up next is cookie number 4, which obviously had the yeast in. A bit scone, actually. I have no idea what this is gonna be like. Here we go, let's break it in half. It really looks like a scone in the middle. Obviously cakey and not many chocolate chips. I'm not a fan of this one. You can really taste the yeast in it. I kind of like the texture, it does remind me of a scone, but it's definitely not a cookie. It's weird, I feel compelled to eat more, but at the same time, there's quite a potent yeast flavour. I weirdly can't stop eating that. And then up last we have plate number 5, which we've got a lot of cookies on. This was the one that had the hazelnut in, which had a higher ratio of caster sugar to brown sugar, which you can kind of see is a bit more brown around the edges. Ooh, that is a good one. That is nice and gooey in there. Oh, there's something missing in that. Do you know what I mean? It's not quite chewy enough, but it's not soft, it's not hard. It's like, it's a merge of all of them. I feel like most people would like that, but because I am so pedantic about my cookies, it's not my favourite. There's something missing there. I can't put my finger on it. Maybe it's because there's not much chocolate in there. Oh no, that was chocolatey. I think it needs something, you know? Okay, so the verdict is, I feel like none of them have quite hit my specific cookie-ometer, if you get what I mean. But when I was looking at the emails, I just had a little look at them, and a lot of you guys sent the Bon Appetit, Tasty, Viviana Does Makeup, and another cookie recipe, Cupcake Gemma. And I was thinking maybe I should test like the internet's best cookie recipe, because I got those a lot. They were sent through a lot, and maybe they'll just merge all of the components of all the different things that I like. I think the winner for me has got to be either 2 or 3, which is funny because 2 is quite like a textural one, a bit thicker, a good nice variety of texture in there, whereas this is more like a Millie's cookie one. Thank you very much to everyone who sent the recipes. I hope you're not offended if I didn't like them. Sorry, can't change my taste buds, and I'm so pedantic with cookies, I am aware. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I never want to bake or eat a cookie again. Actually, that's a lie, because I'm literally gonna finish this up now, so